as they smash it to bits, and then it goes, and then it goes into the cleaning room. And they cut them all off and clean all the blades, and then they go to another company in Leicester for caustic dipping. And all that does is any ceramic that's left on, it softens it all up, and then it comes back and they just blast it off, wash it off, water blast it. And then these are all trayed up, and then they go back in an oven. So if there's any cavities or anything, or any of the caustic acid has soaked into the metal, it's burnt out, and they sit that at 1,000 degrees and burn it out, and it stops all the acid coming out and furring up, because it just furs up round everything. But you're left with that's the end result. And at the moment, these are made in. We send 4 these up to Germany to be cast. There's a place called Hollands in Germany, and we're just moving these to Leicester. It's been extremely difficult to get a British company to do the casting, but they rumble all those in grated walnut shells, and that's how they get the nice finish.
And are they X-rayed? Are all your rotors X-rayed?
3-point X-rayed, yeah. So aerospace standard. And any that's not, any that don't pass, they come with a bit of wire wrapped round them, and that's it. We can't use them. Or we shouldn't use them.
Pushing. Does any scrap get sent back to the casting house to be used as revert?
No.
You don't use any.
No.
You don't have any revert material in your.
The thing is with Inconel, because when it's heated up and they start casting, it burns quite a bit of the chemical formula out of the ingot. So if they scrap that has to go back to a specialist metal company to have the chemical put back in it. It's all melted and the chemical re-added, so that it can be used again. You can't just save it in a big drum and then recast later on, because it hasn't got the same properties.
But your material does go back into a revert process, but you don't necessarily get the product of that revert
we don't get to see it now.
Okay.
That's what it comes out like. So there's a hell of a lot machined off it by the time you finish. I haven't actually got one that's machined, but there's quite a weight there.
You do the machining in
44 turbo prop. The turbines aren't they're not all that difficult for Stevie to shoot, but what takes the time is if he gets any flash on the blades and the cleaning up of the blades.
Do you cast them individually then, or do you put them on a tray and join them all together?
Oh no,
years ago.
Plastic cast.
Is that kind of non-stage as well, or something?
I don't know. Could be, because they did buy the company out in the 70s.
So why they say why are certain parts expensive? The thing is, now for every helicopter and every turbo prop has one of them. And has to be cast.
You've got 3 large mould costs
Then you
before
have
you
to put it all together to make one mould.
Right, yeah.
So that's why they're expensive, because it takes a lot of time to make one of them. And the same as the 44 little turbine one, the NGV.
To give you a better understanding on why a turboprop or a helicopter is so expensive, that's in 3 parts, as Steve has just explained, and then he sits for hours and puts it together. And then there's that part, which is the spider, and then there's that part, which is a 2-part one for the turbine. That's the NGV that the 44 turbine sits in. So that's 3 quite expensive parts, and that joins the gearbox and the turbine together.
Then you have one of them that's got 2 lights that goes in there.
So it can, yeah.
You know, you need.
So is that effectively used as a release agent?
No, that's not a release agent. That.
Oh, that's what you
Yeah, but it's not hot there.
There is from there. Anybody at this end will get very smelly. No, I mean really smelly. So when you get home, you'll all go, oh, you smell of petrol! And you have to get great pains to explain it's not petrol, it's kerosene.
I'll do it good.
Anyway, first start of the day is much more interesting than all the subsequent starts, so you get what you get. I'll push this over here.
Yeah, can you keep within 180 degrees?
Yeah. Quite noisy at idle. Quieter as it speeds up. Makes a bit of smoke at idle as well, but don't worry about that. Like a real airline engine. Hot, cold, hot, cold. Take it up to 1/3. Get it loud. Got a lot of preload on the fan shaft because of the change in direction as it pushes it. So it stops very quickly. It's quite free running, but it's got a strong spring against it.
That fan from electric.
Yes, it's a shoe for 126 mil. And the lubrication is a toss-up between running clean and running with wrecked bearings. So we decided to run it with running clean and not having bearings. So you always get oil. Any oil that escapes from anywhere will always appear on the end of the fan. We decided it was easier to wipe than it was to change bearings.
Nothing going through the bearing.
Yes, we have. This is the pipe at the top here. That lubricates the gearbox, and that goes through the power turbine. Yeah. But
And a bit of escape.
a little bit of escape. Yes, it's meant to shoot it out through the exhaust. But the fan is so strong that it sucks very hard in the area of the tunnel, and a little bit escapes around the outside of the tunnel instead of going through the exhaust. It means it's there. It's better to have it than not have it. What do you reckon? Good? Yes, awesome. I tell you, I had to have 3 or 4 goes.
And we'll turn the thrust meter on just for. Okay, so to initiate a start, then you put your trim up.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then throttle up, throttle down, throttle up again. That initiates the start
Yeah.
mode. And then you just stand back and wait. You can hear the burners
Yeah.
started, the temperature's going up.
Yeah.
Now, that is because it weren't primed enough, and that's absolutely fine. I'd rather it did that
Yeah.
than. That's easy when it's done that, just let it do what it has to do and go for another start. That means although there was fuel to the burner, there wasn't enough, it wasn't all the way around
Yeah.
to the engine in the main fuel feed. Temperature's rising quite nicely.
Yeah.
That might be because the pump's been stood.
Yeah. Is there any best way to mount the pump in the model? You know,
Now,
vertical or
you can
horizontal?
buy. I'll show you when we get back
Yeah.
in. Get up to 45,000 and then it'll calibrate. It'll take it right up to 85,000. You'll start stopping at this point. All the systems checked out while we're going through that, working absolutely fine. That's the maximum volume that investigated to work at. That's the minimum volume there. You're still at full throttle at this point. You need to pull it down. Now you've got it. Okay? So the first thing you need to do after you install it is turn your transmitter to the ECU. The way that you do that is you slowly take the throttle off the top end of the second stroke, the same speed before you push it back down again. That's not good. Up to 160,000. Press that back down again. The temperature will go. The thrust will go. 10 kilograms. It's hard to stand well. Chop that.
Yeah. And it's sheared, isn't it?
That's sheared off.
Oh, it's the welds are foul.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is going into cooldown now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll take it down to 78 degrees
Right.
before it'll. You
Let
just
go
leave
of the
it switched
control.
on
Yeah.
and it'll auto cool down. Now, if you ever have a flame out in the air, are you new to turbines?
Yeah.
If you ever have a flame out in the air, pull your trim back,
Right.
because then it will go into cool down. While ever you've got your trim up, it won't.
Right.
And a lot of people ring up and saying, oh, my engine stopped and it didn't cool down. It's because they haven't pulled the trim back.
Right.
That's a bit unnerving, that, actually.